Why do billionaires get richer during market crisis? Like, everyone else is losing money. Because they see something we don't. What? A sale. Wait, a sale? During a crash? Exactly. Think about it. When bad news hits, recession fears, war, inflation, whatever, everyone freaks out and starts selling their stocks. Prices crash. People lose millions. The vibe is completely dead. So how is that good for anyone? Because those same stocks don't actually become worthless. The companies are still there, still running, still making products. They're just way cheaper now. So rich people just buy during the panic. While everyone's running away scared, they're calmly shopping. 2008 financial crash. Banks looked completely dead. Warren Buffett bought $5 billion in Goldman Sachs, made billions when it recovered. 2020 COVID dip. Stocks dropped 40% in literally 3 weeks. People who bought Apple and Tesla at the bottom turned 10,000 into 50,000 in under 2 years. Even in 2022, crypto crashed hard. Bitcoin dropped to 20,000. Everyone said it was finished. The people who bought then, they're laughing now. That's actually insane. It's just patience and perspective. They know crashes don't last forever. The party always starts again eventually. Here's the difference though. Most people panic, sell when prices crash, lock in their losses, then buy back later when everything's expensive again. Rich people do the exact opposite. Buy low, wait, sell high. It's that simple. So the next time the market crashes, that's not the end, that's the entrance. The people who stay calm get paid later. You ever wonder how Elon Musk's net worth hit $754 billion and he still pays zero income tax? Wait, zero? Bro, he makes like $29 million an hour. Yeah, but that's not income. That money everyone talks about. It's not a paycheck. It's his Tesla stock going up. And here's the trick. If you don't sell it, the IRS can't tax it. So he's rich, but not earning? Exactly. No sale, no income, no tax. But how does he actually get cash? Simple. He borrows from banks against his shares. Loans aren't income, so still no tax. But loans need to be paid back, right? Yeah, he just takes a bigger loan to pay the old one, again and again. And when does it stop? When he dies. So he never sells the stock? Exactly. No selling, no capital gains tax. And banks allow this? Of course. His shares are collateral. Banks earn interest. He keeps control. So this is legal? Completely. The rules are written this way. He's just playing them perfectly. Welcome to the rules they never explain. Why do super rich people keep starting cool tech companies that lose money forever? To make the world better? Nope. To save on taxes. How? Easy. They throw tons of money into the startup. Fancy office, salaries, research. All that spending looks like normal business costs, so they get to subtract it from their taxes. Boom, smaller tax bill. But startups lose money anyway, right? Exactly. They plan to lose money on purpose. Those losses aren't wasted. They save them for later. When their real big company makes huge profit, they use the old losses to cancel out the new taxes, like a tax eraser. And if the startup actually gets big, even better. After 5 years, they can sell shares and pay zero tax on the first $10 million profit, sometimes more. Legal loophole called QSBS. Rich people love it. So the startup is fake? Not totally fake. It's real enough. Hires people, makes a website, posts on social media. But the real goal? Not to get rich from the startup. The real goal is to protect money from taxes. They call it innovation. We call it smart cheating. Welcome to how billionaires play the game. Why do billionaires spend $70 million on a rusty 1960s Ferrari when a brand new Bugatti costs only $3 million? That makes zero sense. Actually, it makes perfect sense. How? Because that new Bugatti loses money the moment it's driven. But that old Ferrari? It's printing money, just sitting there. Wait, what? Yeah, new supercars lose 20 to 40% of their value in the first few years. And vintage cars? They appreciate 8 to 12% every year, sometimes way more. Bugatti produces thousands of cars. That Ferrari was limited to roughly 36 units in 1962. Most were crashed, damaged, or disappeared, so the ones still left are extremely rare, and rare things go up in value. Here's a real example. A 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO was sold new for about $18,000, but today, it's worth over $70 million. That's not a car, that's an investment. And during market crashes, stocks drop, cash loses value, but real metal, real history, it holds. Plus, they drive them at exclusive events, network with other billionaires, show off at auctions, then flip years later for double or triple what they paid. So it's not actually about the car. It's about owning something rare that can't be replicated. Most people buy cars that lose value. Rich people buy cars that create generational. Why do billionaires buy paintings for millions of dollars that look like absolute shit? Like, this sold for $50 million? Bro, my little cousin could paint that. Yeah, and it still saved me millions in taxes. Wait, what? Yeah, to us, it's not art, it's a financial weapon. How? Let's say that this year, the IRS sends me a tax bill of $80 million. Pain. So instead of paying that, I go shopping for paintings? Exactly. I buy one of these masterpieces for around $50 million. Then I store it somewhere special. Where? A free port. Basically, a high-security warehouse where rich people hide art and ignore most tax rules. So the painting just sits there? Tax-free? Yep. Now comes the interesting part. I put the painting up for auction, and art auctions are funny like that. They magically push the price up. How much? Usually 30 to 40% higher. So my $50 million painting is suddenly worth $80 million. Okay, but if you sell it, don't you pay taxes? That's the trick. I don't sell it. I donate it. Donate? Yeah, I give it to a museum. And guess what happens next? The IRS gives me a tax write-off for the full $80 million value. So that tax bill from the beginning? Gone. So you didn't pay the IRS and still look like a good guy? Exactly. I look like a generous, art-loving billionaire. The museum gets attention, and the system gets played. So that's why these ugly paintings cost so much. Yeah, because to billionaires, it's not art, it's strategy. Welcome to the art of wealth, where money moves quiet. Why are billionaires so obsessed with luxury yachts? Like, what the f*** do you even do on a boat all day? Well, we do it for luxury, and the money laundering too. Wait, what? Yeah, yachts are one of the easiest ways to clean money. How does that work? Simple. Let's say I've got $100 million from some questionable activities. If I drop that straight into a bank, questions start coming, red flags go up. So instead, I funnel it through a yacht. But how does that make it clean? Because yachts are insanely expensive to maintain. If a high-end luxury yacht burns millions every month, no one's surprised, because it's literally a yacht. It's supposed to cost a shitload of money. So you just call dirty money expenses? Exactly. Maintenance, upgrades, operating costs, all perfectly normal on paper. Next, we start buying as much stuff as we can. Fuel, parts, luxury interiors, even stuff we don't really need. Why buy things you don't need? Because the companies selling them, they're ours too. Wait, so you're just paying yourself? Yep, on paper, it looks like endless yacht expenses, but in reality, the cash is just bouncing between companies we already control. But doesn't anyone ask where all that money went? That's the best part. We blame the ocean. Saltwater corrosion, engine failure, weather damage. The sea destroys everything, so nobody questions the bills. Isn't that suspicious? Not really, because no one actually understands yacht maintenance. And as long as you keep saying repairs or restoration, there's nothing to investigate. Won't the government find out? They won't. Most luxury yachts are registered offshore to get tax breaks, privacy protection, zero financial reporting. Places like the Cayman Islands. So now, you're laundering money while hiding behind international laws. And to the public, you're just a rich guy enjoying the ocean. But in reality, it's just a massive money funnel. Welcome to the real world, where wealth hides in plain